We'll watch one more video. At this point, we've talked about this so many times. And hey, guys, I know some people might be getting annoyed, but you've got to admit that it sure seems like it's been working. Because they just keep talking and revealing more and more and more about it.
Apparently, there is an Epstein list, and Trump is going to give it to us.
You should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, this is yet another...
I'll give you a list. Why don't you give the list to the FBI and have them focus on it? I'm just saying. Maybe that's a better idea. That's just me, though, right?
Change of the story. First, we heard that the Epstein list was covered up by the Dems. Then we heard there is no list. Then we heard the list was made up by Democrats. Now we're hearing that there is a list.
You say that the FBI...
To be fair, it's very clear that Trump referring to the list of people that he has, this is not the Epstein list in the form that it's going to be discussed in this clip. Yeah, obviously, like, it's dishonest to frame it that way. But at the same time, if you have a... Like, you know, if you have a crime and you think that somebody could be implicated, wouldn't you want to go down and check people off the boxes to make sure that they're not bad boys? That's what I would do.
Has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it.
We need to release the Epstein list.
It's sitting on my desk right now.
The DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list.
No incriminating client list.
Made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. Focus on Clinton, the president of Harvard. I'll give you a list.
This all comes after shocking revelations about new implications of our most powerful leaders, both former and current presidents.
Good.
But now, given the fact this story won't go away, Trump is zeroing in on his political enemies and saying they're the ones everyone should be focusing on.
They should focus on the fact that Larry Summers from Harvard, that Bill Clinton, who you know very well, and lots of other friends, really close friends of Jeffrey Summers, should be spoken about. Because, you know, Jeffrey Epstein should be spoken about. And they should speak about them, because they don't talk about them. They talk about me. I have nothing to do with the guy.
Now, the reason we haven't been speaking about these people is because, of course, the DOJ covered everything up, not giving any names. And, of course, people were extremely suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, we need a few sacrifices. I've said this before. I'll say it again. We need to have a few people get fucking pulled up.
Of this sudden change.
What is
but
this?
We want to talk about everyone. Let's be clear. No matter who they are, left or right, we want them all to go down.
That's what I see. That's what I don't understand, is that people turn this into like a like this is a partisan issue. I don't think this is a partisan issue. I think this is the people versus the elites. It's not Republicans versus Democrats. I think that anybody who's convinced that there's one side that's doing all of the bad stuff and the other side isn't doing any of the bad stuff, you're lost in the fucking sauce, man. You are. Obviously, both sides are engaging in this.
They were on the island. If they are in the files, we want it all to come out. That's been everyone's stance from the beginning. And it seems like Trump is finally buckling on the idea that he can just ignore the problem, that he can just pretend it doesn't exist. And now it looks like he's shifting to deflecting to some of the other people who are also seemingly implicated.
Hedge fund guys, they're all over the place. You ought to be speaking about Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times. I never went to the island.
Now, if true, that's a shocking amount of times. We don't know if Trump has special briefings that we don't have access to right now.
Well, I mean, he obviously does, but like it doesn't matter because, like, again, the way he's handled it has burned the trust of the people. So before the Epstein thing, I think that people had the trust that Trump would make the right decision. It's like when Trump bombed Iran, that was like a massive play. And people's trust that he had built up by, you know, getting rid of DEI and getting rid of, you know, different people in government that, you know, Republicans didn't like and shutting down the border. Like, he delivered on a lot of these other things. And so when he bombed Iran, everybody had his back. I think this definitely is a massive withdrawal of that goodwill.
Clinton denied going to the island. There are some people.
Is that really not going to let up support for the Iranian attack? It has nothing to do with my opinion. I'm talking about public polling numbers. Yeah, I supported bombing them too, but it doesn't matter what I think. I'm talking about the public at large.
Said, oh, maybe he went once or twice, but 28 times. I've never heard that number before. If true, I hope that comes out. I hope we get verification of that. Of course, it wasn't just on the island where these bad things happened.
Oh, what a
And the other
surprise.
surprising twist in this, where the narrative is sort of changing, is that Trump is softening his stance on this letter that he supposedly wrote. Initially, he said, it doesn't exist. I never could have written it. Now he's saying, oh, it could exist, but if it does, someone else wrote it.
I don't know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot. All you have to do is take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier.
So seemingly they're laying the
I don't think that that is softening language. I think that him saying that it doesn't exist and he didn't do it are effectively the same thing. Like, I do. I think that they're basically the same thing. Because they're saying both of them are completely 100%, I did not do this. I had nothing to do with this, period. That's not softening. I don't think it is.
groundwork for this
Personally, I
birthday
don't
book
think so.
to finally be released to the public, as we've all wanted. Trump is saying, look, maybe it does have my name on it, but I didn't personally write the note. Now, whether you believe that is totally up to you, but this is such a shocking change in stance from how they've been treating the Epstein files. Previously, we were literally told, look, there's nothing we can charge third parties with. There's no evidence we have on anyone. Now, the Trump administration is meeting privately with Ghislaine Maxwell. Supposedly, there's 100 new people she has mentioned, and Trump is mentioning evidence that he says they have, or some knowledge he says he has, of Clinton being on Jeffrey Epstein's island 28 times.
That's a lot.
Which, if true, is like so incredibly damning. And these people...
It's damning, but it's not condemning. Like, it's not for sure. Like, I wouldn't say based off of that, like, Bill Clinton is 100% like a weird pedo rapist. I don't think any logical person could not make that conclusion. But I sure think that you definitely need to look into it. It's not proof, but it sure is a fuckload of evidence, isn't it?
People should be locked up. The problem is, of course, it cuts both ways.
Let's be real.
If you're going to implicate one person, you have to go after everyone. Now, Trump was asked if he was ever briefed on his name being in the Epstein files. Of course, it was reported by the Wall Street Journal that he was told, and that's when he started
How many points on a graph do you need? I think that you need at least 29. You need at least 29 points on a graph. 28 is just like, I don't know. I mean, it could go either way, right? But 29? Oh, yeah, for sure.
Being very weird about the Epstein files, saying it was all a hoax. He once again denies it, though, saying he wasn't.
And again, by the way, I think it's cause for investigation. And I like, all I'm saying is that I wouldn't, like, I'm not assuming he's guilty. If you want my opinion, I think he's guilty. But I wouldn't want the government to function that way, right? That's I think that he is, but you still have to figure that out.
No, I was never briefed. No.
Now, we have really good reporting on the fact that this seems like a blatant lie. The White House barely even denied it, and the DOJ didn't deny it, so this seems to be just a blatant cover-up as Trump appears to be deflecting onto other people, which, again, we should focus on those people as well, but we can do both at the same time. We should be talking about all of these people. Now, in light of recent talks about Ghislaine Maxwell getting pardoned, stuff like that, Trump is...
In my opinion, I think they 100% should pardon her if she can give out names and evidence. It's just a trolley problem to me. If she can condemn and implicate 5 really powerful people, it's absolutely worth giving her her freedom in order to do that, because it's a greater good. It's the easiest decision that you could ever make. Yeah, I mean, it's easy cost benefit. Yeah, like that is the logical thing to do. I understand people might not like it. It doesn't sound good. Doesn't matter. It is good. There's a lot of things that don't sound good, but they are good. What if she's pardoned to lie? Well, of course they wouldn't pardon her until they confirmed it. It's not like she'd just give out the names and they'd let her go. They would have to figure out whether it was true or not. And upon finding out that it was true, then they would pardon her. That's what I would obviously be okay with. Disagree completely. Well, and I want to pull up one person just real quick. Why do you disagree with this viewpoint? Why do you think that she shouldn't be pardoned? Because she did those things knowing of what she's doing? No, yeah, I know. But would you rather... So would you rather... Let's say you have a gun. Would you rather shoot one bad person or would you rather shoot 5 bad people? Just because she knows something that politicians don't want to show the American people, one bad person gets pardoned, think about it? No. Just how is it the morally good decision? She's implicated in all of this? I don't even think that you're... Let's just move on.
Now said it's not the time to talk about pardons yet, although once again, he doesn't rule it out. And then he says that if you're going to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell, if you're going to talk about Epstein, talk about Clinton, don't talk about Trump.
A lot of people are asking me about pardons. Obviously, this is no time to be talking about pardons. But a lot of people have asked about pardon. This is just not a time to be talking about pardons. Todd will come back with whatever he's got.
Somebody says I'm getting gaslighted by these Andes. I'm not getting gaslighted. It seems like a lot of these people they can't gaslight. That's not what's happening.
You're making a very big thing over something that's not a big thing. You should be talking about, if you're going to talk about that, talk about Clinton, talk about the former president of Harvard, talk about all of his friends, talk about the hedge fund guys that were with him all the time. Don't talk about Trump.
Well, how about we talk about
everybody,
all of you guys? Because while Trump tries to separate himself and say, oh, you can't talk about me, you got to talk about all these other guys, it just seems like we should be talking about everyone who
and also, by the way, I think it's fair to talk about Trump more because he's the active president of the United States. And the active president of the United States being potentially incriminated in one of the worst things possible could put his position at risk, and it could compromise his integrity and his ability to make decisions through blackmail. That's the reason why it is much more important and much more prescient that Donald Trump is discussed than Bill Clinton. Like, obviously, they should both be discussed, but one of them is an immediate, direct, instantaneous problem that could have consequences. Bill Clinton isn't doing anything. He's probably in a nursing home at some point, right? Like, he's done. Don't you think he's already been blackmailed? I don't know if he is or not. But what I'm saying is that I don't think it's fair to say that all of these people are equal. Prince Andrew doesn't have the same type of social capital and political power that the president of the United States does. And neither do any of these random retards that run hedge funds. Like, yeah, obviously they're really powerful, but compared to the president, they're not.
In the Epstein files. And now, as the White House softens its approach on the complete denial and shutting up of the Epstein files, now the goal is just to distance the president from any liability, which is why Ghislaine Maxwell's private meeting with him is so concerning. Today, the president was also asked about whether he was part of the decision for the House Republicans not to release the Epstein files. He says this is just conspiracy theories.
Did you ask House Republican leaders to not vote on the resolution about releasing the files?
I was never involved in that. I'm focused on making deals. I'm not focused on conspiracy theories that you are.
Once again, this is kind of a funny idea, being that this administration and the surrogates are part of the people who pushed this whole thing from the very beginning.
It's really strange to me as people pointing to play defense for Trump, and all the people, the 100,000 documents and thousands of hours of videos are really going to go down with those people. I don't understand why you can't just be against the behavior in general and want to see justice be enacted regardless of who's implicated or not. Like, this is like one of the worst things that a person can do. And I think that, you know, you owe it to the people that are the victims to try to act in their best interest to help them. Like, that's what I think.
To call it a conspiracy theory now, to be making fun of people who are asking basic questions about that, is just bizarre and strange again. But I do think it's worth noting this radical shift in the approach of talking about the Epstein files. Remember, It was that it's a cover-up, then it was the list doesn't exist. Now they're saying the list does exist and they will produce.
I don't think Coffee is accurate about this. I think Trump saying that he has the list of people that Epstein associated with is very different than them saying that they have a client list of people that Epstein trafficked people to. I think these are two different things, and they're two separate lists. I understand that like everybody wants to have answers, but I do think that I think we're making a jump here. And I think that jump is, it's unsubstantiated. That's all. It's just unsubstantiated. I mean, and Coffee could be right, but I don't think that based off of his language, you can draw that conclusion.
So what names actually they're gonna produce? I think it's anyone's guess. I hope they produce all of them. I'm doubtful. I think there will be some omissions, but it's a credit to all the people who won't stop talking about this that at least there is a change in the approach, and it looks like they're gonna have to release some of the files.
We need at least some human sacrifices, okay? At least like 5. Like I think 5 minimum. Like really? I mean, are we not even gonna get 5 sacrifices? What a fucking scam. What a fucking scam. It's not fair. Yes, blood for the blood god. Exactly. I'm so mad. And so that's what I think, man. Now I'm questioning his crypto videos. No, Coffee feels very strongly about this. I support him and I agree with him. I understand that there's a lot of people out there that are saying that, and I'll link you guys the video. Make sure to give it a like. I love CoffeeZilla. This is his second channel, so a lot of you guys might not be subscribed to it. Make sure you are. Voidzilla. And so, yeah, I mean, again, stop saying that you're going to get banned. No, I'm only talking about people that I don't like, which is, okay, he ran on this. There has to be sacrifices. There have to be, yes. There have to be. Who is he blackmailing? I'm baffled that so many innocent people in law enforcement can just sit on this information. How does it not weigh on their conscience? I don't know what's happening. And I think that the more people that are implicated, the less I believe a conspiracy. Because I think that, again, like, how many times do you guys know that there's some sort of, rumor going around, and before you know it, everybody knows about it. So I don't necessarily really believe that entirely.